one of the most arrogant coaches I think I've ever seen. But I worry about this Titans team because I worry about Derrick Henry just wearing on this Colts team, and then in the fourth quarter having one of his big Derrick Henry style runs. Midway through the third or the fourth quarter that really kind of puts a bow on the game. This is a game that I think if Jacoby Brissett wants to show that he can be the long-term future, he's got to have a great game. Like, he's put up really good numbers so far, but in the Houston game when we had to have a throw, he couldn't make it. And the question's going to be is in this Titans game, if we need a throw, can he do it? And I don't know the answer to that question yet, and Jacoby hasn't shown it. Jacoby could be one of those guys that when he's got a good team around him can do things and get you to or close to the playoffs. But I don't know if he's got the juice to get you over the hump. And that's what we've got to see from him. Now, granted, it's his first year starting, but I don't know. This game makes me more nervous than Titans games have been in the past. And I feel like the Titans are trending in a really good direction right now, and the Colts are kind of stuck in neutral.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, and that's why I was saying it's just a nervous time for me, nervous Nelly. The good thing about it is they'll be at home. It's going to be a great atmosphere. It's always a great atmosphere at a Colts home game, that's for sure. Mo for the BS Sports Show. Mo, I appreciate you joining us, and I do want to tell you how much that we appreciate you on this show, and I know you've had a rough couple of weeks, and I hope things are getting better for you, and I don't want to give too much details, but just so you know that your family is in our thoughts and prayers as we go into this holiday weekend. But the Bears, what are your thoughts about the Bears winning against the Lions, close game against the Lions, and then got to turn around on a short week and host the Dallas Cowboys, who's coming off an embarrassing loss that they're going to try to save face for. So you got your work cut out for you.
Yeah, it's funny talking to Bears fans, and it's more talk not about Mitchell Trubisky, but about how far this franchise was set back by not drafting Patrick Mahomes, Deshaun Watson. I get to see those fun things and hear those fun things every week, but Trubisky did what he had to do to win the football game against David Blau from former Purdue quarterback, who looked pretty good in the game. I mean, to be quite honest, we didn't know that Blau was starting until late in the week, so the Bears had to adjust for David Blau, but he played a pretty good game. I mean, Trubisky's still just he's a lot like Jacoby Brissett right now. He's not making big throws when they're needed to be, and Trubisky at least has taken some risk, which I think is what Jacoby Brissett will need to do more for the Colts, but it's just it hasn't been clicking. And the thing is, we saw so many trick plays last year and fun plays from Matt Nagy and this Bears offense, and we've seen none of those really this year. Just because he is, I believe, 100%, and Matt Nagy will never say this, obviously, publicly, but he's lost confidence in Mitchell Trubisky, and the only reason I think that Trubisky is out there right now instead of Chase Daniel is because it's a front office call and not Matt Nagy's call. I think just from, seeing them at practice, I really believe that Matt Nagy has more faith right now in Chase Daniel than he does Mitchell Trubisky, and going forward, we could see some more Chase Daniel. It was reported a couple weeks ago that Trubisky had an injury when the game was on the line, and Chase Daniel was in there, and I still believe that was 100% BS. He thought Chase Daniel gave him a better chance to win the game than Mitchell Trubisky. So everything for the past 6 weeks has all been about quarterback talk with Bears fans and on the air. So it's going to come down to Mitchell Trubisky talk probably the rest of the season and see what the Bears do moving forward. Do they bring in Cam Newton, or do they try to bring in Teddy Bridgewater to bridge that gap until they're ready to draft their next successor? And we see Mitchell Trubisky fall the way of a Marcus Mariota, where he becomes irrelevant pretty quickly.
Ed Kracz, beat writer for the Philadelphia Eagles and our official NFL contributor. We've got some breaking news coming through the NFL per Adam Schiff. Scheffner, former NFL wide receiver Terrell Pryor is undergoing surgery this morning and is in critical condition after being stabbed last night in his Pittsburgh apartment in the shoulder and in the chest. That's according to Adam Scheffner's Twitter. There's also tweets popping up all over right now. That's just now breaking. Are we getting any news on that? Do you know anything about that, Ed or Mo? Or Adam, for that matter?
I don't. That's the first I'm hearing about that, Tom.
Okay. Well, so that's breaking news. We'll be monitoring that. Again, Terrell Pryor injured critically and stabbed in his apartment in Pittsburgh. And according to Adam Scheffner's Twitter, he is undergoing surgery as we speak. So we'll see what happens there. Thoughts and prayers with Terrell Pryor, obviously one of the greats of the game. Wouldn't you agree, Ed?
He was great in college, yeah, for sure. I thought he did some good things. I don't think his NFL career really materialized the way some thought it would. He had to make the switch from quarterback to receiver, and I think he had the one good year there, and it led to a free agent deal with the Washington Redskins, but it really never worked out for him. And that's not to say he's not a good person, whatever. I mean, I just don't think his career went the way he had hoped and many thought it would.
Yeah, absolutely. And so we'll keep in mind with that. Follow us on Twitter, and we'll keep you posted on that. Let's talk about another game on Thursday, Ed. The Saints took care of business on the road against the Falcons. The Saints are starting to check the boxes off and getting themselves in a good spot for postseason.
Yeah, the NFC, I mean, they're one of a few teams in the mix in the NFC that you could point to and say, yeah, they're going to make it to the Super Bowl. I think the NFC has more of that than the AFC. There aren't as many teams, I think, in the AFC that you can say, yeah, they're going to be in the Super Bowl. But you have the Saints in that mix, and, Drew Brees is, really Teddy Bridgewater gets a lot of credit, actually, for kind of keeping that team afloat when Brees missed several weeks with his thumb injury. And then give credit to Sean Payton. He did not waver in reinstalling Brees as his starting quarterback, even though Bridgewater, I think, was undefeated after Brees got healthy, So, that's good leadership by Payton. He's got that team, again, like you said, on the right track. And, I guess Drew Brees would kind of be a bit of a sentimental favorite to kind of get to the Super Bowl because his career, I think, is winding down. I'm not sure how many more years he's going to play. If he wins a Super Bowl this year, this could be his last year. But, Sean Payton's a really good head coach, one of the better coaches in the NFL. And, he does have that team pointed in the right direction. Now, I know they stumbled against, I think it was the Falcons a couple weeks ago. But, he's got him right where he wants to be. And, I suspect they'll make a pretty nice run in the playoffs once they start.
We're talking with Ed Kracz, beat writer for the Philadelphia Eagles, SI.com, our official NFL contributor. Also talking to Adam Jividen, Super Browns fan, and Mo from the BS Sports Show. Adam, more breaking news from Adam Scheffner. A little bit more on the lighter note, but Freddie Kitchens has been seen wearing a T-shirt that says Pittsburgh started it. Talk about adding salt to the wound. What are your thoughts there, Adam?
Oh, Freddie. I get what he's trying to do, and I get he's trying to rally his team. But my gosh, dude, you're not coaching a high school program that's going up against a crosstown rival. The way that I look at it, and this is I think a really good thing, is if you're a head coach that's still trying to figure out how to be a head coach, ask yourself, is this something that Bill Belichick would do? And if the answer is no, don't do it.
And he's going to be gone anyway. And barring any huge run in the playoffs or something major happening, I think Freddie Kitchens is going to be gone anyway. Mo, you cover the Browns. Is this throwing salt on the wounds? What do you think? Is this rallying the troops? Is this something that the head coach of the Browns should be doing?
No, I mean, after all the talk of Freddie Kitchens not having control of this football team and then being a very undisciplined team, I think it's a bad look and a bad move on his part. And Freddie Kitchens may not be the only guy gone after this season. You could see a guy like Odell be gone after this season as well. There's been a lot of speculation amongst the reporting crew as well that this could be Odell's one and only season in Cleveland. But, I mean, just not a good look for Freddie Kitchens. I understand what he's trying to do, but after all the talk and after all the terrible undisciplined play of this team, that wouldn't be my move at this point if I'm Freddie Kitchens.
Ed, real quickly, what are your thoughts on this? We'll just call it an immature high school move. No need for this. There's just no need for it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, where was he wearing the T-shirt? If he's wearing it around the Thanksgiving Day table with family and friends, I mean, okay, fine. But you really can't go out in public wearing that thing.
I think he was wearing it down in Pittsburgh. I think that's where the story came from.
Goodness. Yeah, that's pretty bad. And I just talked about Sean Payton and showing great leadership to kind of get that franchise. Where it is right now. And, you can't do that. That is not leadership from your head coach, and it is shameful. And he probably is a one and done. And Mo brought up Odell. I mean, I know we've heard those rumors, too, about him possibly being one and done in Cleveland. And there's talk that the Eagles could be maybe poised to try to make a trade offer to the Browns to lure him away in the offseason. So that'll be an interesting situation to watch, too. And so will the coaching search in Cleveland. Another one, yeah. So
real quickly, Ed, before we have to wrap things up and put a bow on it, if you're a fantasy football owner that doesn't own Lamar Jackson like myself, every time I see a team that I'm playing has Lamar Jackson, the guy is a beast, and he's killing me everywhere I turn in fantasy football. But more importantly, he's winning games for Baltimore, and this Baltimore Ravens team, this phenomenon or tornado, as Adam called it earlier, with the Baltimore Ravens, man, and being in the AFC, man, and this could be a very dangerous team as we go into the postseason. And of course, you got the 49ers. I believe they're on the road with the 49ers, but the Baltimore Ravens and Lamar Jackson, what say you?
Yeah, that's a great game. I mean, it could be a Super Bowl preview, and it was funny. I saw Earl Thomas, the Ravens safety, say, is this a Super Bowl preview? And he said, oh, you think the 49ers will be in the Super Bowl, huh? And he said, well, it could be, because no matter who's in there, though, we're going to win. So, he was already putting the Ravens in the Super Bowl. So they're playing with a lot of confidence, a lot of swagger, and, yeah, they're going to be a tough out. Right now you have to put them kind of as the favorite in the AFC, and I think after them it's the Patriots, but I don't know what other team in the AFC has a chance. I mean, maybe the Chiefs, but I'm not sure. I'm not really sold on that Chiefs defense. But Lamar Jackson, yeah, he's all the rage this year, and you haven't heard about as much about Patrick Mahomes, who was last year's MVP, and I think Jamal Jackson will be this year's MVP, and that's going to be a great game. I wish it was a later game. I think it's a 1 o'clock start, which means I won't be able to see a single snap of it because the Eagles play at that time. But I wish it was moved. I wish it was moved to 4:30 or 8 o'clock. But it is what it is. But I think it's going to be a terrific game. I think it's supposed to rain in San Francisco all day tomorrow. I know the Ravens have practiced this week. They soaked all the footballs pretty good, so they would get used to practicing with wet footballs. So that could be a factor. But really the Ravens' running game is very good too. So that's going to be a fun game to watch. It could be a Super Bowl preview, but we'll see.
All right, guys, time for thumbs up, thumbs down. We're going to start with you, Adam Jividen, Super Browns fan and Ohio State Buckeyes fan. Thumbs up or thumbs down, the Michigan Wolverines hold Ohio State Buckeyes to a touchdown today.
Yeah, not happening.
So we'll take your vote as a thumbs down. The question being, Mo, thumbs up or thumbs down? Michigan loses by a touchdown or less.
I am taking Michigan for the upset today.
There you go, and they're not the only one. And I know that the firm believers, and I think this is a bigger win for Michigan than it is. a bigger loss for Ohio State if that was to happen. Ed, what are your thoughts?
I second
down?
what Adam. I'm going with what Adam Jividen said. The big laugh and the thumbs down. I think the Ohio State comes out and makes a statement. Let alone hold them to 7 points. My goodness, no way does that happen.
All right, Adam, we appreciate you joining us today. Any final words of wisdom, sir?
Not a whole lot. We'll see, everybody on the next week for the Big Ten championship game that we've already clinched, coming off our 8th consecutive win against the Skunk Weasels from that team up north.
Team up north. All right, Adam, have yourself a good weekend.